We can't agree on anything. Not politics, not medicine, not climate change. We argue over gas stoves, who should host the Oscars, and whether a hot dog is a sandwich. We live in the most connected, most informed, most technologically advanced society in history. And still we're divided on nearly every issue. So here's the mind-blowing part. Over the course of 1,500 years, 40 different people, shepherds, kings, prophets, fishermen, doctors, tax collectors, on 3 continents, writing in 3 different languages, with no email, no phones, no group chats, all told the same story. One unified theme, one consistent message, one savior at the center. That's not just rare, it's nearly impossible. And that's why the Bible's reliability is not just a religious claim. It's a supernatural phenomenon. Let's break this down. The Bible is not a single book. It's a library. 66 books written by 40 different authors over 15 centuries. And those authors? They didn't sit in a Starbucks and brainstorm a plotline. They lived in deserts, palaces, prisons, and battlefields. Some were rich, like Solomon. Some were poor, like Amos, a shepherd. Others, like Paul, wrote letters from a jail cell. They wrote in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. They were spread across Asia, Africa, and Europe. They lived in eras that were completely disconnected. No common calendar, no shared government, no instant feedback. And yet, the message they delivered was stunningly consistent. God is holy. Mankind is broken. Redemption is coming. A savior will rise, and eternal hope is available through faith. They were writing puzzle pieces across the centuries, and the pieces fit perfectly. Now, let's contrast that with today. We live in the age of group projects, shared drives, and Zoom calls. Everyone's got a platform and a microphone. And yet, we still can't agree on anything. Just think about it. Science. We debate climate change, should we wear masks or not, and whether Pluto is a planet. Health. People argue over whether eggs are healthy, if gluten is evil, or whether sunscreen is toxic. History. We can't even agree on what happened 100 years ago. Every side has their version. Entertainment. Rotten Tomatoes can't even get critics to agree on a movie. Social issues. We cancel each other for having different opinions. Even church denominations disagree on everything from music style to the color of the carpet. Let's be honest. If you got 40 people from different countries today, gave them no way to talk to each other, and asked them to write a unified story on life, death, morality, and eternity, you'd get 40 totally different books. You'd have contradictions, plot holes, and a bunch of "that's not what I meant." But the Bible? It defies that pattern. Not only is there agreement, it builds upon itself with prophetic and thematic precision. That's not just impressive. That's supernatural. Now let's acknowledge the real questions. Skeptics say, wait, what about contradictions? Critics argue the Bible has inconsistencies, or that it was edited for theological purposes. But here's what biblical scholars and textual critics will tell you. The majority of the contradictions are minor differences in detail, not doctrine. Differences in gospel accounts, like how many angels were at the tomb, reflect eyewitness perspectives, not factual errors. Just like 2 reporters covering the same story with different angles. The core message never changes. God created humanity. Humanity sinned. God intervened. Christ redeemed. Even secular historians admit the manuscript consistency of the Bible is unrivaled. And despite thousands of years of copying and translation, its central message is intact. Let's talk facts. The Bible is the most well-preserved ancient document in human history. Over 5,800 Greek manuscripts of the New Testament exist. Add to that 10,000 Latin manuscripts, and more than 9,000 others in languages like Coptic, Syriac, and Armenian. Compare that to Plato's Republic, we have 7 copies. Caesar's Gallic Wars, 10 copies. Yet no one questions Plato or Caesar in high school history class. What's more, these manuscripts date closer to the time of writing than any other ancient work. For the New Testament, some fragments date within 30 to 50 years of the original. And thanks to this massive volume, scholars can reconstruct the original text with over 99.5% accuracy. That's unheard of in ancient literature. You're not reading a wildly corrupted myth. You're reading what the original authors intended to say. And archaeology? It's like the Bible's quiet wingman. People once doubted King David existed, until they found the Teldan Stele in 1993, referencing the House of David. They questioned Pontius Pilate until a stone inscription bearing his name was uncovered in Caesarea. Skeptics laughed at the idea of the Hittites until 10,000 Hittite tablets were found in modern-day Turkey. The more we dig, the more the Bible proves reliable, not just spiritually, but historically. It's not myth. It's anchored in reality. But this isn't just about history and numbers. This is about meaning. Across thousands of years, from Genesis to Revelation, the Bible paints one picture: a holy God relentlessly pursuing a broken humanity. Genesis opens with paradise lost. Revelation ends with paradise restored. In the middle is Jesus, our Redeemer, the scarlet thread tying it all together. The same God who spoke through Moses spoke through Paul. The same Spirit who inspired Isaiah to write about a suffering servant inspired John to write about the victorious king. This kind of harmony doesn't just happen. It's not a literary coincidence. It's divine orchestration. And that's why the Bible endures. So what do you do with this? If 40 authors over 1,500 years could write one consistent redemptive message without ever meeting each other, maybe that's not a coincidence. Maybe God really did author this book. Maybe it really is his voice on every page. And maybe, just maybe, he's still speaking through it today. In a world that can't agree on truth, morality, or reality, the Bible still stands, unified, unshaken, unmatched. If this video opened your eyes, even just a little, don't leave without subscribing. Hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts or questions, and share this with someone who needs to hear the truth. Because in a divided world, truth still unites, and it's written in the pages of the Bible.